Hey, my name's John and welcome to Ask John D. Jones. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about IR35. Now, this video is probably aimed at UK contractors only. If you're a permie or you live outside of the UK, this might not be that interesting. I mean, tax isn't that interesting, but for those who want to know, then basically IR35 is a government initiative, a scheme that's been around for a while. They got really tight and clamped down around IR35 in the public sector. So if you work for hospitals, prisons, like the council a few years ago, basically now they're trying to apply those changes to the private sector. Now, unless you've been living under the cave, if you live in England, you know the Conservative Party is staying in power. And the only way of the IR35 changes not really being introduced was if one of the other parties came in. So basically in April, the tax laws are going to change. Now basically IR35 is a way of saying, are you self-employed? Are you actually just a permanent employee in disguise? So what they sort of mean is, one of the checklists of IR35 is you use your own computer or your own equipment. You can work from home, you can take time off whenever you feel like it, you can substitute yourself, you have multiple streams of income. Like one of those things that say if you worked in construction, I think someone would be called a contractor but then work there for 10 years. And if you're going there day to day for 10 years, you're not paying the same amount of tax as everyone else, is it really fair? So the problem is, for me, speaking to my accountant, you know, I've been self-employed for 10 years, I have multiple clients, I'm actually a self-employed person. But what the government are doing is, instead of trying to manage IR35 themselves, they're pushing the responsibility onto all big companies to manage IR35. So now if a company fails or breaches the IR35 thing, they can get fined. It's sort of a clever move for the government because it gives them less admin, and now it's like all the companies are going to be more strict. So what's happening is, if you have a company with more than 50 people, or your company makes more than 10 million, then these new IR35 laws, which are going to come in April, will probably apply to you. Now in the UK, if you look at it, all the big banks like JCPenney, I think GlaxoSmithKline, like all these, Smith, whatever it's called, which is one of the biggest contracting services in the world, they've all done this switch, and they basically said to everyone, you have to be inside IR35. Now inside IR35 means for contractors is that you're basically going to take home probably about 20% less than you're making at the moment. So what happens on a monthly basis, you're going to have to pay the same amount as tax as everyone else. Now regardless of, basically what it means is if you've got an accountant, you probably won't need an accountant anymore because you'll be doing your taxes. And if you're dropping your wages by 20% and the permie, like you can get a permanent position which is like 25 to 30% less than your contracting position, there's that question of, you know, is there any point in being a contractor anymore? I'd probably still have to pay an accountant to do like my personal returns. So like financially, obviously being a contractor, there's a lot of point to it if it gives you, you know, you get paid 30-40% more than you would. But now these new laws actually change things, so they're actually quite sort of, you know, you have to think about becoming a permanent employee because the decision's not that easy anymore. So unfortunately, you know, where I'm working, they've made the same decision. They haven't really made a decision yet because the law hasn't been made, but any contractor, they haven't been extended past like the 27th of March. So basically what this means is next year I'm going to have to think about, you know, how I make money. So obviously one way of doing it is just to work for companies less than 50 people. But again, because this effect is changing everyone in the UK, everyone's going to be looking for those outside of IR35 jobs, which means demand for those IR35 jobs is going to be difficult. So where you might have like 5 people or 10 people applying, you're probably going to have like 50 to 100 people applying, I'm assuming. So in April, I'm probably going to take a little bit of time off, just concentrate on freelance work, which is obviously another way of making money. You can obviously start your own services business, you can become your own agency. Now, obviously, if you work in the UK, I don't think the need for IT work is going to go anywhere. It's just the way that you get paid is going to change. So potentially you're going to have to just take the hit and you're going to get paid 20% less. Potentially now is the time that you want to think about permanent employee, and you know, you get the benefits of, you know, sick days, you get prepaid holidays, you probably get like a free car some places or a bonus, whatever those incentives are. You might want to start looking at the differences. Now I think for the long term, you know, it's the same as anything. Like if you buy a house, there's housing cycles where there's boom and bust. there's a certain point where everything goes to shit and then people can't afford to pay their mortgages, or the housing prices bottom out. It will happen again sometime in the future. Same as the stock market. Stock market every 20 years, 25 years just massively crashes, and this is exactly the same thing where there's a massive cycle. There's going to be some massive upheavals next year, things are going to change, but if you can eke it out and ride it out, there'll probably be some more amazing opportunities. If you look at it as, you know, there'll be companies who won't be able to find staff, so potentially you could start your own company, or potentially you can start charging more money, or potentially you can just become a permanent employee and move. So all these people out there, I know it's quite scary, but honestly don't worry, none of the work's going to change, nothing's really going to change. So anyway, if you want to be a legend, hit subscribe. If you want to ask a question, go to my website, jondjones.com, that's jondjones.com. If you want to be a legend like me, otherwise hope you have a great day, catch you next time.